Hello everyone. Today let us discuss about tympanic membrane. Tympanic membrane. Definition: tympanic membrane is the membrane situated between the external ear and middle ear cavity. So this is tympanic membrane. So at the end of external auditory meatus, you find the tympanic membrane where the external ear is separated from middle ear cavity. This membrane is placed not straight, it is placed little obliquely, so like this, and this, so that the lower portion of the external auditory meatus is more longer compared to the upper portion. This tympanic membrane has got lateral surface. The lateral surface is towards the external acoustic meatus, and medial surface. The medial surface is the lateral boundary of middle ear cavity. This is the middle ear cavity. The middle ear cavity mainly contains three ossicles. So lateral wall of the middle ear cavity. Lateral wall of middle ear cavity is bounded by medial surface of tympanic membrane, and lateral surface is towards the external acoustic meatus. To this medial surface, the malleus is attached. Malleus is one of the ear ossicles. There are three ear ossicles: malleus, incus, and stapes. So malleus is attached to the medial surface of tympanic membrane. Malleus has got the head and the handle. So this is attached to medial surface of tympanic membrane. Coming to the details of the surfaces, this is the lateral surface, this is the medial surface. Lateral surface is towards external-acoustic meatus. I told you already, the malleus is attached, so this is the attached part of the malleus. This whole thing is tympanic membrane. So this is handle of the malleus is attached. So with the attachment of malleus, there are two folds: anterior malleolar fold and posterior malleolar folds are formed. Okay. So with this attachment, two folds are formed. One is anterior malleolar fold, another is posterior malleolar fold. And dividing the whole of the lateral surface of tympanic membrane into lower portion, this you call it as pars tensa, and the upper portion, this you call it as pars flaccida. So this is flaccida. So tensa, the fibers, everything is more compactly arranged. Here it is pars flaccida. Okay. So this is pars tensa and that is pars flaccida. Whole of the tympanic membrane is enclosed in the tympanic bone, in the tympanic part of the temporal bone, tympanic sulcus. This you call it as tympanic sulcus of the tympanic plate of temporal bone. Okay. So this is about the lateral surface. The lower portion of the malleolus, you call it as umbo, U-M-B-O, umbo. Coming to the medial surface. Medial surface is towards the middle ear cavity. The medial surface, I told you already, this is malleus is attached. The incus also is attached. So medial surface has attachment of handle of the malleus, and partly incus is also. Long process of the incus. This is short process. This is long process of the incus. Another important structure you find here in the medial surface of tympanic membrane. This you call it as chorda tympani nerve. This is the chorda tympani nerve. This is branch from facial nerve. So this chorda tympani is related to the tympanic cavity or the lateral wall of the middle ear cavity, and this pass through from posterior canaliculus to anterior canaliculus. So detail I will be describing in the middle cavity. So the medial surface of tympanic membrane has got three important structures: malleus, long process of incus, and cauda tympani in its upper portion. Coming to the structure of the tympanic membrane, the structure of the tympanic membrane has skin, the fibrous layer, and mucosal layer. Three main components which forms the whole of the tympanic membrane. So the lateral wall or the lateral surface towards the extracoustic meatus is related or lined by the skin. This side it is lined by the mucous membrane, and in between is the fibrous layer. Coming to the nerve supply of tympanic membrane, lateral surface of tympanic membrane is supplied by tympanic branch of auriculotemporal nerve and tympanic branch of vagus nerve. Vagus and auriculotemporal. Here, vagus supply the extracoustic meatus as well as the lateral surface of tympanic membrane. And the medial surface is mainly supplied by tympanic branch of glossopharyngeal nerve. Tympanic branch of glossopharyngeal nerve. So this is lateral surface by auriculotemporal nerve and the vagus nerve. Medial surface is supplied by tympanic branch of glossopharyngeal nerve. Development of tympanic membrane. Tympanic membrane is developed from extension of tubotympanic races. The lateral end of the tubotympanic races. Tubotympanic races is extension of first endodermal pouch. So this races forms the middle cavity as well as the auditory tube. So proximal and distal end, middle cavity and auditory tube. So the extension of the tubotympanic races forms the medial wall of tympanic membrane, and also it is second component which take part in the formation of tympanic membrane is first ectodermal cleft. So ectodermal cleft, tubotympanic races, and in between is the mesoderm. All these three forms the development. That's why the tympanic membrane. But the mesoderm here is very scanty. So almost you find endoderm and ectoderm approximating each other. So that is main structure of tympanic membrane and development of tympanic membrane. Clinical anatomy. Coming to the clinical anatomy, the perforations are common in tympanic membrane, and any foreign body or any thing will affect or injure the tympanic membrane. Second thing, meningotomy. Meningotomy is opening in the tympanic membrane wall. Usually this opening is done to drain any pus in the middle cavity. In cases of otitis media, that is inflammation of middle cavity, any pus accumulation will be drained through tympanic membrane. So that method you call it as meningotomy, and this meningotomy, the main area for opening is lower posterior portion to avoid injury to the cauda tympani. Now I told you cauda tympani runs in the upper part of medial surface of tympanic membrane. So to avoid the injury to the cauda tympani, now the meningotomy is done in the lower posterior part of tympanic membrane. So this is about whole of the tympanic membrane. So tympanic membrane is 5 mark question, 3 marks question. Start with definition, situation, extent, surfaces, then structure, then nerve supply, development, and clinical anatomy. So this whole thing covers whole of the tympanic membrane. Thank you.